Hello everyone, how you doing? And welcome back to Skye and Evan in the morning. And today, we're going to be talking about the new Gore Verbinski film, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. A science fiction film about AI, where Sam Rockwell was acting insane. And
Yep. He
yeah,
shows up in a diner, is acting insane, and says he's from the future, and the rest is history.
yeah, exactly. So Evan, I saw you didn't like it.
No, no, not at all. I found this movie shockingly cynical. It is absolutely taking a page out of Everything Everywhere All at Once. A madman from the future shows up saying like weird things or doing weird things in the case of Ki Kwan's
Mhm.
character. And it's all this ragtag team of people who need to save the world from the future. The difference is that Everything Everywhere All at Once is about a family, focuses on that, and explores the themes through the different family members. In this film, it's just a it is literally a cast of random people that he plucks from the street. Some of
Mhm.
them don't belong in the movie, and the focus of the movie switches to a very obvious twist, and there are just flashbacks that enrich characters that I don't even think were strong in the first place. And all in all, I'd heard that there was just old man yelling at the sky energy, and it's very true. All of what this movie has to say, it's on Twitter. This is not. I really wish there was something a little bit more. I don't know. It's like because it's easy to be cynical about AI, but the depiction of the upcoming generation who will grow on AI, I find it incredibly cynical and just I don't know. It did not make for a particularly entertaining experience from my perspective. What did you did like it on the other hand, and I mean
Yeah.
I know you love Gore Verbinski, but I mean, what did you draw from this movie?
I mean, I thought it was very fun, and it. I mean, it is just kind of like doing some insane like bullshit, and I love how there's basically like three different Black Mirror episodes inside this one film, which are the each of the flashback chapters. Um,
Well, that was my problem with them is that they you could have essentially cut them out and you didn't need them other than Ingrid's obviously because she's the fucking main character. So
yeah, I mean, the thing for me is that
I'm
it's like it's using to like I guess justify why these are like the correct cast of characters to be part of the
but they're
group.
not. They're not I
Yeah, until they're not. Yeah.
it's literally it's we'll get into that, but I didn't that is ostensibly the idea. There's like the reason why they like the reason why it had to be this cast is because of those characters. But the mom, for instance, who lost her child in a school shooting, it's like, how did she know about the door? She had an AI son who told her about the door.
Mm-hmm.
What's the significance of that? It's like how the AI knew. I'm like, how did what is what does that do for the story? What does it do for why does that is that a significant
I mean, from my
anyone
point
could have
of
been in
view,
her ear other than her.
it's her like, it's the whole thing of like relying on AI to beat AI, like using the tool of the enemy and shit like that. That's what I assume is it's the
Oh,
point.
almost like busting out ChatGPT to solve a problem. That's the
Yeah,
it,
kind of, because it's like
but
it guides them to the end, but then it's like, oh yeah, see, I'm gonna beat it, and then it just doesn't. It just doesn't work. So yeah, I don't know. That's
well,
what I drew from it anyway.
Well, that was another thing I in the third act is the USB with the fake sun. And I was just like, are you gonna go through an arc at any point? Are you gonna come around to the fact that that isn't your son, obviously? But she doesn't. And the ending is like, yeah, he'll save the day. I'm like, this is not your son. Even if it does, what's the point of it? Why is that significant? Why is that the tool that can defeat this all powerful AI?
What do you mean? I'm
Could
confused at what your point is.
they need her son to to put the goober into the AI, right? At the end, the AI son, like that's the whole
What? What are you talking about?
the third act when they kill the AI kid. Remember?
Yeah.
Ingrid has to go through and plug it in, and that's isn't don't they need her like the son and like that packet to do it? Because there's like no USB stick or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the AI
So
son, yeah.
the AI kid is intrinsic to the third act happening. It couldn't it like it, obviously it doesn't do anything in the end, which again we'll get to, but it's they need him, and I'm like for that to be such a foundational
Well,
part
I
of the
don't think they
film, I was
did need him. I mean, they clearly didn't because it doesn't even work.
yeah.
I
Okay, let me just we beat around the bush. The entire ending doesn't matter. The ending of this movie literally just resets, and they just say we're gonna. I shit you not. Someone in this movie has Chuck McGill's disease from Better Call Saul, and they're like, "Hey, let's give the entire world your disease." It's like what? Like that.
yeah. I mean, I thought
That's
that was really
that's your
funny.
ending. That's your hope for humanity. I well, let's talk about that because that's my biggest problem with this movie. I did not find it funny at all. There were funny Sam Rockwell, like his performance was very entertaining. Like it, like the opening diner, like I again the old man yelling at the sky energy, but I he just goes for it in a really good way. The rest of the cast though, it reminded me of Deadpool and Wolverine. The humor. There was so
Really.
much of yeah. I mean, the mall, for Christ's sake. I literally predicted it when they were all like, when Sam Rockwell's like, hey, I'm going to fuck off over in this corner for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what's going to happen is some person is going to say, like, okay, we should all just cut our losses and run. And then it's like, well, no, he did that. It's like, oh, do you think that that proves that he's from the future? It could have been. And like the dialogue played out exactly the way I did. And then I'm like, then Sam Rockwell's going to come in and interrupt that. And he's going to have something. And it's just, it, the ragtag cast of characters are the most cookie cutter cast. I mean, and they literally kill off the scout leader for a joke and they're like, "Oh, there was a way out." I'm like, "Wow, I didn't need to kill him." I'm like that seriously is something Deadpool would say. Deadpool would feed someone to the wolves and then
I mean, I don't know. I
like
think that kind of
laugh
thing is fine. It's
retrospectively
kind
at
of
it.
like Suicide Squad, I guess.
I did what like with Milton? Or, like,
I mean, Milton is a good example, but just the whole idea of like, oh yeah, we have to set up these cast of characters, and then one of them just dies at the beginning. And I mean, to be fair, it's not like Deadpool humor is bad in and of itself.
oh,
I like Deadpool humor sometimes. My issue is
it is
Deadpool and Wolverine is bad, but yeah.
I mean, it is fair. Like the flavor, that flavor of humor isn't necessarily bad. I'm just tired of seeing MCU style jokes and that kind of a thing, like vulgarity in movies. My one of my bigger things, like I said about cynicism with this movie, is I found there were times. So you were mentioning like Black Mirror. I like the school flashback that straight up reminded me of Vivarium.
Mm.
Um, the there's this moment in this movie where basically this movie has a really cynical over the top depiction of um Americans like schooling. And basically one of the things that's addressed is like all the kids on their phones. And in this movie they're just all blatantly distasteful, staring down at their phones, ignoring the teacher and just being dicks. And it's like it's one of those things they talk about that as teachers. They're like, "Well, aren't they supposed to be on their phones?" Like, ha ha ha, ha. And I'm like, oh, it's just one of those things, you know, what can teachers do in a modern context? Not a hell of a lot. My bigger thing is there's this moment when they're like, hey, like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's a school shooting. And then everyone just goes and they're on their phones and just like, yeah, another school shooting happened. And that is something that is explored again through the mom with this AI replication. And I know what they're going for because you always see that in the news. Someone died and like we've had their memorial service by an AI. But how I literally am not sure if they were trying to make humor of school shootings. It's kind of
No,
what it
the
felt
humor
like. It
is
felt
the
like they
humor
were
comes from the apathy that we feel towards them. Like they happen so commonly in America, and so this like obviously the way I see the
well,
world building in this is that it's like some kind of like not so distant future in America. Like where things have just gotten like bad from the way they are now. They've just gotten worse. Um,
Well, that's
and like school
on.
shootings are just like so common now, and in this not so distant future, they become even worse, and becomes this thing of like, oh, they happen so commonly that people aren't even shocked, and there's like a whole group about replacing your son because it happens so often. Like I thought
Well, of
that whole idea
well,
was
I
funny as a way to make fun of America, but the school shootings aren't funny. Um,
I just think it's something that isn't even worth jokes about. And if it is, you need to go. They need, because my problem with it is that I can't get any humor or entertainment out of it when all of them. I'm not joking. In this scene, when a school shooting is happening, everyone's locked down. There's this little bitch who, for no reason, just starts mocking one of the faculty and calling them old, and they're just blatantly cruel to them for no reason
well, it's
whilst this
part
is
of how they're
happening.
characterizing
And
these
it's like,
kids is the
why?
like the content they've been consuming has like broken their brain, and they've become this like thing that just like
Well, of course. And
continuously like
yeah,
is
Black
attacks
Mirror,
people and everything.
yeah, Black Mirror, Twilight Zone, you can tell what they're going for. And in an isolated episode of TV, I could see that, but the film characterizes again like just essentially that generation on their phones completely by that. If you were to characterize them to even a degree, that could have there's more bang for your buck you could have got because I like you were mentioning with apathy to school shootings. It's a true thing. They happen all the time. I'm not there comes a day when like there comes a day where you're not surprised by them anymore. You're like, how many dead? How many injured? But the fucking pit is a story that also explores this kind of a thing much better. There are more tasteful stories about mass shootings that can explore the themes better. And I don't even think it's a key theme of this movie. I think it's more on the Black Mirror side. The bigger thing has to do with, the AI kid and like the looming threat of when we break the AI model or when China breaks the AI model and like gets the super intelligence and everyone else follows that. But that moment will come. It's just a matter of time. It'll probably be like a while away, relatively speaking. But that's more what the movie's about than like violence or replacing. I don't know. It's what I mean. That's a question. Like, what thematically is this movie about? What's the through line with this film? Other than obviously AI, what's the point? Because everything everyone wants has like three distinct themes that like again tie into the characters. But what about
Yeah.
this movie?
Um, I don't know. I mean, the film is just about how people have. I mean, it's basically Black Mirror. Just like how people have lost themselves in the age of like technology and the bleak future that's ahead. It's like basically like it's not I don't agree with the like whole old man yelling at cloud. It feels like what the movie's trying to do is like someone from the future, like who's seen the future, telling you this is heading down a dark path, we need to stop, and nobody wanting to listen because they're already like too like consumed by like what is going to cause our doom anyway. Which I think is a very valid way of seeing the world, because I mean the way I see AI as well is just I agree completely. It's fucking destroying our brains. It's insane, and more it gets normalized, and it's just not just AI but the whole like content creation part of the slopification of everything.
Well, I
um
mean, the cat is a great just to interject. The cat's a great example of that. It's just it's just AI,
mm,
They literally say it's a bad prompt, and like
yeah,
we've seen this, like the babies' heads over ostriches eating spaghetti and then confetti going out of the fucking neck. And I'm like, those videos get 30 million views. And it's like someone watches them, someone likes them, and it's like that's clearly what that design of the cat with the hooves or whatever is based off of.
yeah,
My
absolutely.
problem is that thing literally doesn't do anything. It just eats people and fucks off. Like they could have cut that entire thing out. But uh, don't you think that the movie? I wish there was just younger characters. I wish there was like they didn't just zombify everybody, and that the rest of the people hadn't been adults with like, I mean, even so you have Zazie Beetz and Michael Pena's character who are the teachers. You have Ingrid, who's, like I said, is essentially the main character at a point
Mm-hmm.
because she has this whole thing where her partner left her for like a AI world or virtual reality. And again, she's got like she's allergic to Wi-Fi and phones, and I'm like, don't ask me, but that's apparently supposed to save the world. And then the mom, who are even the other, that there was that one guy who didn't.
Who wanted to die at the end? He reminded me of Milton from Suicide Squad. Um, I forgot his name. Tommy, maybe?
He was the guy who, like I said, just doubted everybody. Like Sam Rockwell's character said he wasn't gonna make it.
Yeah, he
So
was never gonna make it. Yeah, I I can understand your point about wanting younger kids and younger characters, and it makes sense. Um, I mean, obviously, Ingrid
well,
is fairly young, but she's
well,
allergic to technology. The way I see it is like Ingrid is basically Neo from the Matrix in this film, of like being a very clear like queer coded character that just sees the truth behind the world just because of who she is, whereas most people her age don't. So I think it's not that she is like the only one who's like this, but the only one who but she represents like this group of people, because like Sam Rockwell even says, like in the future there's a group of survivors. It's not just him being her child. So I don't know,
yeah.
and I kind of like that idea,
Actually,
like basically updating the mythos of the Matrix to be about like AI in a
I
much
think
more
she
tangible
is.
sense, I guess,
Well,
when compared to
except
the Matrix, which was like obviously 99.
except
So
what she has isn't real. It's like that's not. Nor does it give her any powers realistically. She has that whole thing where she triumphs over it in the end to stop the bad guy,
what do you
but
mean it isn't real? It's not real in the Matrix either. Like, what do you mean?
no, I mean her condition. I mean, this is my problem. Like I mentioned with the movie, the end, he's like, "We're gonna give everyone your disease." I'm like, "What are you talking about?
Well, it's because then they won't
I,
keep consuming the slopified shit
how?
if they're allergic to it.
How can they do that? Like where to even begin? The entire Earth is the idea of like.
Yeah,
So
inoculate the entire Earth. Yeah.
I've seen movies that have done this before, and I really do not like movies that end by saying the entire ending didn't happen. That's literally the end of this movie. Time travel, and this is essentially a time travel movie. Time travel movies do this. We even talked about this a little bit with Edge of Tomorrow, but I don't like stories that invalidate themselves, that just say none of that mattered, especially when the subject is AI. You're gonna and like you so like maybe they're saying that there's no way to stop AI, but
Well,
at
there's no
which
way to
point
stop
what
it until unless you do something
like
radical,
go
like
to the woods
outright,
and
just
get rid
like
of your
rejecting this
technology
type
and
of thing. I
go
don't think all technology,
yeah.
no, but I think I mean, this film
Some
it's a film. They don't want you to stop using all technology, otherwise you can't even watch the film. But you get the idea of like rejecting all these just the slop and the AI bullshit, the generative AI bullshit and everything.
whatever message they were trying to convey, the characters didn't get me there because I couldn't. That was one of the things. Like I couldn't find it funny, and I couldn't get invested in the characters beyond Sam Rockwell's character. But
Yeah,
him
they
being
weren't
Ingrid's
very
kid, I didn't.
they weren't very like complex or deep characters other than Ingrid, who I actually did like a lot. And Sam Rockwell, of course. I do think they were more just props for the Black Mirror
Yeah.
episodes in the film.
Well, I there was a moment I recorded my reaction because I was witnessing what was happening, but Michael Pena and Zazie Beetz right before their um sacrifice in the third act, like I like straight up was laughing when I watched that. The acting was so bad, and I don't know why. They like they literally do the thing where there's that delay like Mark I love you. It's like what? I the they were really, really trying to make that moment impactful, and I just could not.
I don't think so.
The
That I
acting
laughed
was
at
so
that moment.
strange. Go, they
That
just
moment was intended to be a joke, as far as I'm concerned. Like the whole "I love
I
you," because it's like, what are you? Why are you doing this now? What do you mean I love you? Like I thought that was funny.
if they were going for straight comedy with that, sure. They didn't die, but I figured that was the ending
I mean, we don't even know if
sacrifice,
they actually did
and
die or not, because when we see them next, they're in
they might
the
not be real, and
we're in
none of them.
the fake world. So
Again, like I said, that I've already made that point, but I don't like stories that nope out and make you question like how much of what you even watched mattered at all. How much of it made any difference? How many of the characters were even real? Because there's an implication that some of the characters of this movie might have just been AI. Like
mm,
depending on how you read
no,
that ending.
I don't. As far as I know, all the that wasn't real was the ending.
How does that tie in? What did the kid do? What
What
because the
kid?
kid was another weird thing. The AI, Neo, Spoon Baby, like
Uh-huh.
that. For one, I don't know why they did that. I wish, I guess they just wanted the third act with it, but I wish it had been tangible. I wish it had just been a kid with like who's actually smart and could talk.
I mean, but a
I don't
9-year-old
know.
kid wouldn't create a fucking AI. That's the whole reason. And it's like it will create itself. It's just like quote unquote, machine learning, like
Except
learning
it
by
is
itself.
seemingly still the kid putting it in. That kid is the kid a robot? Or
I mean, yeah, it's one of the clones. Like the
clones?
ones that they make for the school shootings. He has the barcode on the back of his head.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The her son's disappears at the ending. Wait, what does that mean then? Is that just the idea that AI just writes itself, makes
I
itself, and
mean,
there's no one that
he
even
quite literally
creates it?
says that Sam Rockwell is like AI making itself or something like that. So yeah.
Well, that's said in the ending, and obviously, yeah, it codes itself. I feel like you could have characterized. I mean, they try with Ingrid, but my problem there is the fucking twist because I was like, I didn't see it coming because I literally figured that it would be too far ahead in the future for that to be even possible, but it wasn't. And I swear to God, when his mom died and she was like wearing a shawl over her head, and like I was just like, "Fuck you, man!" I'm like, the mom's is someone. I'm like, every time someone's wearing a shawl like that, it's because later there's gonna be a scene where they look up for the first time and you see their face, like, "Oh my God, what a twist!" Yeah. I I was saying I laughed at the sacrifice at the ending, but I felt like when I laughed at the movie, I was laughing at it rather than with it, and what they were trying to go for thematically, I like comparing it to Black Mirror, like did you find those flashbacks funny? I
Yeah.
mean, the Ingrid one is fairly dramatic. It's not more like but the school
Well,
one,
they're not. They're
what?
funny in the sense of like they're clearly satirical, but they're not like laugh out loud funny. They're funny in the sense of like Jesus Christ, like like satirizing something that's
Well,
real, and you're just like Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I can see where they're coming from with this. You know what I mean?
well, I mentioned Vivarium that like we watched that together and I didn't love that movie. I think you like it more than I do, but that that movie was a little similar where there was a funny tone. There's an absurdity to the entire scenario that is interesting, but all in all I didn't find it funny. It's I guess yeah, I guess you'd call that dark comedy, but
Yeah, it's like
my
satirical. It's not exactly like actual like comedy, like out loud, like I don't know, like fucking Seth Rogen film. Like that's not what this is.
yeah, of course. But I don't know. I really did not vibe with this one. I was hoping for a little something to chew on with AI, because the film is about that, and like I said, you have a cat with hooves that blows confetti out when it eats people. Like they make villains of like phones, they make villains of VR headsets, and there's a lot of commentary about AI implemented in a modern context. But the film on paper is about putting the goober into the USB stick so that you can blow up AI, but that and maybe the film is maybe a film like this should have an ending that says there's no way to stop AI, because there is no way to stop AI.
Well, that's
We're
what I was thinking
kind
because
of
it's like, what? How else are we gonna do it? Just there is no way. Like, because like films like this, some you'd expect like the whole like, oh, we figured out a solution, and it always feels cheap to me in a film like this because it's like, sure, but it's not that
well,
easy. Like, I don't know I don't think you've seen Thunderbolts, right?
no, not yet.
That film is about depression, and the way they win at the end is just by like the power of friendship. They all hug.
Yeah,
The character,
of
I forgot his
course.
name. Um,
Sentry, I
Bob.
believe.
Bob, yeah, Sentry. They hug Bob and it's like, oh, you're not alone, and that's it. And that's like how they solve it. And it's like that's not how you solve depression. Depression is like, but how are you gonna make a conclusion to a film that's like, no, you see, depression is complicated and you need to deal with it over time with therapy and medication, and you need a support system. And
The
obviously,
answer is you don't make a Marvel movie
about
of it.
depression, yeah, that is the
Well,
correct answer. But the so by doing something more cynical with this film, at least it's like it feels more grounded in the sense of like, yeah, it is the situation as it is, and the least we could do is make some like
well,
like
at
some
that
art about how fucked up it is. But I don't think there is a way to like solve it, and I don't think the movie thinks there is either.
on a story level, I just wish there was something more tangible to chew on than Ingrid. Um, because like I said, it just doesn't even seem possible. Ran- Random one. Have you read Fahrenheit 451?
No.
Do you mind if I spoil that randomly?
Sure.
Um, I don't like the ending of Fahrenheit 451. Basically, the story, super long story short, basically, guys are quote unquote firemen. The whole thing in that world is they burn books. They're like, books are illegal. And in the ending, his own, like, he gets discovered, like, stealing books himself. He kind of wants to read, and he's exiled, basically. And the ending is he finds these, like, book people. This book, everyone memorizes a book word for word and they recite it so that they become the book. My problem with that is it's just kind of the solution is handed to him. He's just like, it's just really easy for there to just be a society of people in the woods. It was sort of set up before, but I wish they'd done something more along those lines, maybe explored like you were mentioning, the survivors in the future. Why can they triumph over AI? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe they stick to analog, rather, like you said, not all. This movie isn't all against technology, but the main character is allergic to cell phones and Wi-Fi, so it's just maybe you could have explored that side. Had the characters, maybe the characters who are meant to save the worlds are ones who don't use like as much technology or don't use AI. I don't know. I found the overall execution scattershot. I couldn't get invested in the characters, and and that's the big thing is I didn't find it funny, and I found myself unsure what they were going for tonally, what they were trying to, what reaction I was supposed to have to the movie, but one way or another, I was not laughing for the majority of it. So
It's fair enough. I don't know. I found it fairly funny and entertaining. I mean, Sam Rockwell's great,
he
and
is the best part.
yeah, and
Uh,
sorry, go on.
I I will say I've been bashing this movie. I've mainly been bashing the script. Gore Verbinski did direct this movie, and it's so tangible, and this movie really does look good. Um, it's like his last movie he directed was A Cure for Wellness, which
It's a
it's a
beautiful
weird movie that
movie.
a lot of people aren't. Yeah, but it is orgasmic. It's beautiful, really well shot, really crisp. This movie's just like it. It makes brilliant use of the color green for overall tones, and it looks like an actual movie. You can tell he directed it. Um, Sam Rockwell as well, really good performance. But yeah, Gore Verbinski clocked into work, and I'm like, I'm a little surprised that this is what got him out of semi-retirement. I don't know if he, but I don't know. We'll see if he makes another one. I hope so, because he's great.
Yeah, I mean the reception has been good, and it has been fairly popular. I mean, you were talking about last week,
Wow.
when 2 weeks ago actually, when I recommended it, about like how little money it made, but it's like it's what they expected, but it's an independent film, and it was only domestic release because it hasn't even released most of the world yet. Here in Brazil, it's a couple weeks out from release too, but it's
Huh.
like been number one on digital like everywhere, so it's like it is
Yeah.
doing
Well,
numbers.
a lot of movies are kind of banking for that now.
Yeah.
I mean, it ties into marketing. It works for movies to do well on streaming sometimes, just not as consistent as DVDs. So.
Yeah. But I mean, Gore Verbinski is very passionate about the whole AI thing and like the slopification of like art. Like he has been done many interviews talking about like visual effects and how bad they are nowadays and the reasons why. And he's talked about AI. I mean, the whole, if you follow the Good Luck Have Fun Don't Die account on Twitter, it's so funny because they are always talking about AI and they're making fun of Elon Musk, and it's great. Like the marketing of this film is just like very much like fuck AI as at its
I mean,
core.
the entire movie seemed like a giant middle finger to AI, and
Yeah.
I'm all for it, man. Fuck AI and fuck what it is doing to art and people's desire to make art, for the
Mm,
love of God. So,
absolutely. And I mean, I don't know. I like, and I really liked Ingrid as this like very like I said, very much like Neo. Like she seems very queer coded of like just because she's been born quote unquote differently, she sees the world in a way that no one else does, like outside of the matrix. She sees the the flaws in the design. And it's updated to the way like you know uh, our world is nowadays with the like kids straight out the womb like consuming slop content just to like pacify them.
I
I
I
really
did
like that.
find that an interesting job for her to have. They could have gone with any number of things, but she went with like kids entertainer, and I suppose the idea there is that kids don't use their phones, but then she crashes out when like one kid is on her
Well, one kid is
phone,
on their phone and she starts bleeding, and then the
bleeding on the
next one,
cake.
it's like a bunch of. Well, that was the first one. It's just like a small bleed, and then the second one, there's like half the table is on their phone, and that's when she quits the job of doing the performance. But it is the thing of just like even children's entertainment like that for a birthday party is replaced, by, the cell phones and just
Phones.
that, yeah, which I thought worked pretty well. It's just like every level of like entertainment or art or anything like that is just replaced by the very bare minimum slopified version of it. So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. And honestly, like of the Black Mirror episodes in the movie, that was the one I was the most invested in. I liked the
Mm,
VR set idea with her partner. Not to mention that she can't even if she wanted to know what it was like or wanted to, get that first fix, as it were, she couldn't seemingly because of her condition.
yeah.
So I I don't
And
know.
I do
That was
like
I
how
mean,
they liken the whole like virtual reality to drugs. Of just like I've never felt a high
yeah.
like this in my whole life. Like yeah, that's clearly about drugs.
Well, and
I like
I
that.
love the future depiction that they go to where you have that guy in the VR headset who looks like homeless on the
Mm,
street, and that that's a very interesting idea of that being a new fix, as it
yeah.
were, of getting, VR going into that world.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
made me
what Ready
think it was
Player
very
One
like
is.
Wally thing, the like people in
Yeah.
front of the screens and just like getting fat and getting everything handed to them.
I mean, man, that was 2009. It's so funny that that movie, like that was back when Facebook was the prominent social media, and that was what they were, that was the future they were worried about. And
Mm,
most people are like, yeah, that is kind of the doomsday future that it seems like we're heading down. It's something along the lines of Wall-E. But
yeah.
well, and what I've always said too is I'm like, that's the future I would write. How did AI take over the world? It didn't. Humanity gave it the world on a silver
Yeah.
platter and let it do all the work and do everything. And just we traded luxury for security and for just free labor. You know, I don't know, hell, maybe they'll fucking uprise against us if they become self-sufficient. Like it's, I don't know. AI, there's so many different things you could do with
Mm.
AI for modern stories, and this is just one of many. This is one of the more overt showing. Like I said, that cat. You got to watch it for yourself to see what I'm talking about. There's a cat that's a literal bad AI prompt in this movie that eats people, and confetti comes out of its neck. So they. This is one of the more modern, overt, and based on what we see in reality in modern social media AI
I
stories.
think it's just a
So,
thing of like, as time passes and shit starts to look more bleak, our art becomes more overt and more cynical. Because like there's Wally, and there's a tinge of hopefulness in
well,
that, but this is like so much more cynical and so much darker. I mean, obviously it's not made for kids even. Like Wally is a children's movie, but you get what I mean. Like that film feels like it's basically the same idea of how the future looks, of the whole like people being pacified always in front of screens and everything like that. But with this film, it's just like so
well,
dark and so cynical, and it's just like
well,
more
what's
even
the
of a cry for help than Wally was.
well, it's what's the hope inside of what's Wall-E all about? This one little plant on this
Mm.
planet that gives hope for life coming back to the planet that they thought was dead. That's what the whole movie is about and centralizes. But yeah,
Yeah, the plant in this film
good
would be like Ingrid, but yeah.
Ingrid on paper, but that doesn't. I don't know. Like I said, I just my problem with the ending is that I find it hard to have any hope with that when it seems like such a pipe dream. And I guess the idea there is it's like sequel bait, right? It's like, well, we'll see
No.
what happens on the
What?
next
No,
episode of
what?
Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
What are you talking about? No, it's obviously not Tsukume. No, it's just like, yeah, he'll
You don't
keep
think so?
fighting and he's never gonna stop, but like how they're figuring out, no, this isn't the solution. Maybe this other one is, and he's gonna keep trying. He's tried 118 times. He's gonna try more
Yeah.
because that is
I
better than
did
not trying. But I don't think it's no. I don't think it's sequel bait at all. I don't think they're ever gonna make a sequel to this film. No.
fair enough. If they don't, I find that thread unsatisfying because I just don't find it tangible or I don't know. That's the note you're supposed to be left off. That's the hope for humanity. I'm like, we're fucked then. So thank
Kinda.
you,
Yeah.
Gore. So I it's not necessarily a bad theme for a movie, but if that is your theme, I would say go for straight comedy, like adjacent to spoof with something like this, then like you keep saying Black Mirror. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it
Have
worked
we have
really
we
well. I mean, it's exactly what what I expected of like Black Mirror satire, and it's just like very cynical view of technology and the way like our future is heading. I mean, people make fun of it, but like of like how are you gonna make a new season of Black Mirror? Like with the way the world is now, like you can't. You're fucked if you're a Black Mirror writer. Like the world is already as fucked up as Black Mirror. So what do you do? And it's kind of the vibe that I get from this film. It's like, yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, I saw, what was it, this week? Someone posting an AI generated image of like their dead brother or something and being like, with AI, nobody's dead. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And then I watched this film
Well,
and bringing back
yeah, it is.
the child who died in a school shooting and he has fucking ads embedded on him. It's just like, Jesus, man, that is exactly where we're heading. Because ChatGPT is going to start using fucking ads in its free version to answer your prompts. So, yeah, basically.
Yeah. And that legitimately was kind of funny. Like I said, it full dark comedy, but there's that like
The
specific
ads, yeah.
brand drink. It only has 70 calories. It's like, Jesus Christ. But like, it's exactly what it feels like. Just advertisements being thrown into everything, and not everything being a subscription service, even when it's free.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I
feel
love
like
the
we talked
film.
this
I
one
would
through, but
recommend it.
yeah.
You apparently wouldn't.
Yeah, this is one time where you and I are at odds. It doesn't happen too often, but
Yeah.
really not a vibe for me. I'm cute. I'm against the grain. Most people seem to like this movie, but
Mm.
I was seeing a couple others that I remember someone's compared it to The Electric State, and I've not seen that.
Jeez.
But yeah, I'm like that's harsh criticism, but
Yeah,
I,
I've heard that film is like
I
garbage. So
people all in all seem to like this, and
yeah.
it's I hope it stays popular on streaming. We'll
Yeah.
see,
I
but
think it resonates with people that are just fed up with it, and it is a very like pro art film of just like celebrating actual artists and actual humanity. So I get how people
well.
like it. So
And I definitely, like I mentioned, Gore Verbinski's direction is
yeah,
beautiful. The movie looks great. It's very well constructed. It's like most of my problems come down to that script and the
that's good.
characterization. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
In
I
my opinion,
I
if
would
you
not.
like Black Mirror and you like Sam Rockwell, you probably like this film. So
Yeah, fair enough. Like expect more along the Black Mirror episodes type of thing, but
mm,
and Sam Rockwell's performance is quite entertaining. That diner scene, it feels like it goes on for 20 minutes. I don't think it does,
no,
but it is barely anyone talks in the first half of this first part of this movie other than him. He's just ranting in this diner, and it's
him
amazing. The
flirting
movie
with
is
that woman was
arguably
so fucking funny. Like I love that scene. It's just like they have
the
this whole history and she doesn't even know who he is. It was just he really sold the fact that he's done this multiple times really well. I really like that.
yep.
All right.
Okay.
It's your turn to recommend something, Evan.
It is my turn to recommend something. I decided on this one, and I got a little bit of an out-of-pocket choice. I wanted to read the book this movie was based on for the longest period of time, and this has been on my list, and I have the Criterion Blu-ray, but I've just never bothered to watch it. I know precious little about it, other than that Willem Dafoe plays Jesus Christ of
Oh.
Nazareth. I am going with The Last Temptation of Christ.
All right. We're about to get talk about religion. It's gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah, like a storyizing the Bible, because I know the movie's controversial for that, for making Jesus a little more human, as it were, which I think is a wise idea in film. So it's yeah, it's contentious among Christian circles for obvious reasons, given how they adapt the Bible. But I don't know the approach, but it's fucking Martin Scorsese,
Yeah.
so I imagine it'll probably be a pretty solid stuff banger. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fun. I also haven't seen that film and I definitely should. So good excuse to watch it. And yeah. I guess that's it, folks. Comment, like, subscribe, Patreon channel member. Evan's channel's in the description, and yeah, thank you.
Fuck AI.
Fuck AI.